In a world where evil wears many masks, what if the devil himself decided to speak plainly? Look closely at this image. There he stands, the Prince of Darkness, one clawed hand resting on the globe, flames licking at his feet. Proud, arrogant, unashamed. If the devil would talk, he might say something like this. Why do you fight me? I offer you everything you want. Power, pleasure, freedom from rules. I don't ask for your soul all at once. Just a little piece at a time. Small lie here, a compromise there. A little hatred, a little greed. For you know it, the whole world is mine, and you help me take it. But here's the terrifying truth. He is talking, every single day. Through temptation, through distraction, through the quiet little choices we make. So the real question isn't if the devil would talk. The real question is, are you listening? I am the Prince of Hate. I hate God, and because I hate God, I hate all that He has made. I hate myself. I hate the world. I hate man. I have brought ruin on myself, and I desire nothing more than to bring similar ruin, eternal ruin, on every man. I can never win all souls, but I am not without success. I am winning many of them. I have forged a weapon. It is more terrible than the atom bomb, more destructive than the hydrogen bomb. These bombs can destroy man's body. My weapon blasts his soul, his mind, his spirit. My enemies have called it secularism, from psychellum, the Latin word for world. It is an attitude, a philosophy of life, a way of thinking, speaking, and acting which makes the things of this world more important than the things of God. How does my weapon work? Where does it show itself? Let me show you a story. It is really the story of many men, of thousands today. I have made it the story of one man, but his name is Legion. Legion was the son of average parents in a modern world. They paid their income tax, they liked movies and baseball and comfort. They went to church on Sundays and contributed to charitable drives and relief measures. They even taught their boy to say his prayers, and they scolded him when he did wrong. And still, any real test showed that God came second with them. Mother, why haven't I any brothers and sisters? Well, dear, some people have and some people haven't. Now run along to bed. John, we could have more children if we wanted to. Children cost money. I know, but after what we heard in church about how sinful... Listen, we're not rich, are we? And your health isn't too good, is it? No, but besides, we need a new car and we're still paying on the house. I guess you're right. We have to think of all those things. Sure we do. Sometimes we can think of another baby, but first things first. So God's not first. Once that is established, the rest is easy. Watch. 2 years later, Mom, why isn't Dad home yet? I don't know. You go to bed. I don't know, but I'm going to find out. If he's where I think he is. Did you see Mr... Never mind, I see him. Who's this? Dear, what are you doing here? This is Miss Wells, a client. You liar! Later. I can't help it. I love her. It isn't my fault if we don't love each other anymore. No, you can't mean it. Think of our boy. I've thought of him. The alimony will take care of him. Oh, no. What's happened? What's happened to us? I can tell you, lady. You're going my way. You didn't expect your husband to put you before himself, did you? After you put yourselves before God. Well, son, I've got a divorce. It's easier than I thought. Does that mean Dad can marry someone else? Yes, but so can I. Will you? We'll see. He did see. She married twice after that, and she didn't have too much time to spend on her boy while she was courting. It's fun to be free and dating again. You sure it's fun? You don't seem very happy tonight. Guess I'm not very happy of late. Something's missing. Maybe I can supply it. Now, Bill, my boy is inside. Don't forget. He's not here. Sonny, where are you? Police station? But I thought he was in sleeping bed. Well, he wasn't. He's been out 3 times a week for the last month. His gang pulled 7 robberies. My son? A thief? Why did you do it? Why did you do it? I only wanted some fun. Don't kick, lady. He's not the only one trying to put fun first and God last. You'll get your boy out of this scrape easily. But wait! I'm glad you decided to go to the public high school. It's much nicer than St. John's. They have all the facilities and a nicer class of boys go there. Yeah, there are no foreigners there. Hi, you registering late? Yeah, I guess. I gotta go here. I live way out of town and you can't use the bus unless you go to the public school. You sound as if something was wrong with this place. There is. They don't teach religion, for one thing. I thought they had classes and everything. Yeah? Well, listen. Is there a course in religion in here, sir? This is a public school, young man. We have excellent classes in all important branches. You can study religion at home in your spare time. Spare time? Ha! A lot of studying and an average boy will do in his spare time. Make religion a hobby, something to be done on the side, and you got it where I want it. I've been working on scholars for 6 centuries, first making man's thought more important than God's revelation, then blinding philosophers to the reality of God's teaching, finally coaxing them to deny the whole world of His Spirit. It's easy to trip up the thinkers once they put their own minds in the place of God's, and every error of the philosophers eventually filters down to the people through schools, press, and entertainment. Since science has established that man is a higher animal, evolved like other animals from a common ancestor, then it's clear what used to be called man's soul is merely a higher class brain. That's not true. The soul is spiritual. Mahoney is going to teach the scientists a thing or two. And what scientists has discovered is spiritual soul, Mahoney. Well, scientists can't discover it. Poor Mahoney, you're living in another century. Just because I can't explain it, that doesn't mean I'm wrong. I shook Mahoney's faith, but I couldn't wreck it. He left high school too soon, went to a seminary. Legion went on to college, where it was easy for me to get him to drop God from a second place in his life to no place at all. Then, after graduating with honors. So, you want a job in the theatrical industry, Legion? Well, your college credits are certainly good. I've got a lot of ideas, too. Give me a chance and I'll prove I'm worth money. A few years later. Good morning, Mr. Legion, I presume? That's right, assistant manager. What can I do for you? Look, both your firm and mine can't exist in this town. There aren't that many theater goers. We know that, but we think we can hang on longer than you can. See here, I got an offer. If this firm collapses within 6 months, I'll make you full manager and part owner of my associated theaters. You want me to sabotage my own boss? No need to put it that cruelly, but one of us has to give in. Suppose you're right. Why should I take a risk when I can have a sure thing? Agreed then? Right. I gotta take care of my own skin first. When you put yourself before God, there's no reason to go behind anyone else. Legion went far in business. He wrecked a lot of little businesses, but he soon had control of a large part of theater, radio, movies, and television. It looks like all our West Coast studios are going to be tied up with this strike. We'll win. We can fall back on our other enterprises. All they want is a living wage, they say. There's all kinds of ways of living. I don't see why I have to make a few thousand people comfortable. The public may turn against us. When the public finds their theaters closed, they'll turn against labor. He won all right, but don't worry. Even when Legion lost, secularism usually won. I have men on both sides of most arguments. Without the fatherhood of God, I don't have to worry about the brotherhood of men. Good afternoon, Mr. Legion. Why, Jack Mahoney, it's been years. How you doing? Fine. I got a parish now. You've risen pretty fast. Oh, I've done all right. We're working on a special series of features now. They ought to be worth several million. I've heard of them. In fact, that's why I'm here to talk to you about them. They're not very clean, Legion. Now listen, Jack. I'm not running a church. I'm running the largest entertainment industry in the country. I give the people what they want. Do they want dirt? They pay for it. I suppose it's a long story. You don't realize what's happening, what you're doing. No? Well, what? Not only you, it's hundreds like you. Everything you put your finger on has the sign. God doesn't matter. Please yourself. Maybe you're right. So what? Don't you see what you're doing to the people? What has become their chief interest in life? Pleasure. They can't have enough of it. It's not recreation to refresh the body or art to raise the spirit. It's just pleasure, a drug in their minds and hearts. It pays me. It's turning a nation of courageous, enterprising, freedom-loving men into a mob of pleasure-addicted, worried only about good times and security. Huh. You must be a good preacher, Jack. Legion, I'm serious. 90% of what you produce is harmful to souls. Souls? I mean, you're leading men to sin. And just what is sin, Jack? Alright, if you won't recognize sins against God, you should at least recognize sins against society, sins against man. You know, Jack, maybe you have something with this God business. It's pretty tough to tell what's a sin against society and what isn't. When men believed in God, they didn't have any doubts because they didn't think God would change his mind. He still doesn't. Well, society does, and half the time, nobody knows what society wants. God help you, Legion. If I believed in God, I suppose I'd do as you say. After all, if there is a God, he's the most important being. But I don't believe anymore. What do you know, my friend, is that I have thousands who say they do believe, but they act just like you. Secularism isn't only for the atheist. It's deep in the life of anyone who acts as if God were not first and all other things second. There's a Mr. Small to see you, sir. Send him in. Mr. Legion, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you, Mr. Small. I've heard of you. I'll get right down to business. I hope to run for governor next fall, and I need your help. Financial? Well, yes, I think we could do a lot for each other. And what, may I ask, will you do for me? Your competition in this state has some pretty bad places, theaters that could be closed by the Board of Health. You'd better leave that alone. I have some pretty bad places myself. With my party in the State House, we shall supervise the appointment of investigators for both the Board of Health and Architectural Commission. And they'll investigate only the right places? Exactly. Then I can consider my contribution to the party fund as, shall we say, an investment? You may consider it what you like. I shall call it a donation. And I will have anything to say regarding how this money is used? Could I interest you in a job as my campaign manager? You could, and I'm not doing this just for profit. I have ideas about government. Get me in the office and you'll have a chance to try your ideas. Agreed. As soon as I've convinced a strong man that he needs no God and can rule his own destiny, he starts dreaming about ruling the fate of others. Later, well, Governor, getting you elected was easier than we thought. Now, what are those ideas you said you had? How would you like to be president? President? More than that. President for life. An old acquaintance said something to me several months ago and it got me thinking. He said the people were becoming a mob of pleasure addicts worried only about security. He was right. Security is the thing today. And how will that make me president? Well, offer them security, let the government control the things that touch the lives of the people most closely, utilities, coal, medicine, oil, housing, eventually the basic foods. Sounds like socialism. Call it what you will, it's security. Of course, we can't do it all at once, but we can guarantee people government and all the way through life. We'll take care of everything. The more people get, the more they'll want. The government can't put its fingers on all those pies without hiring thousands of extra workers, establishing bureaus. That's alright. If their jobs depend on our administration, they'll vote to keep us in. More bureaus, more workers mean more expenses. Eventually taxes will have to go up, but people will pay for security. Once a thing like that starts rolling, it'll be pretty hard to stop. It's rolling already all over the world. It's up to us to get in the driver's seat here in this country. I've been rolling ever since I convinced man that the things of this world are more important than the things of God. 3 years later, Small nominated on second ballot. Security platform, cheer. Remember, if we're going to take this election, we got to stick with labor. You old capitalists, what makes you pro-labor all of a sudden? Labor has the votes. Capital has its chance to give the laboring man security. It didn't. Now we will. Labor leans on government, and then the government has labor. Is that it? Eventually, capital will become to government too, for protection against labor. Then we shall have capital. It won't be that simple, but it will be the trend. Just now I'm worried about getting the votes of labor right here in this state. What happened? There's a priest. He's preaching against our security program. Maybe, if I went to see him, perhaps he needs a new altar or shrine or something. You sure this is the place? Yes, sir. Ask for Father Mahoney. Father Mahoney? Could it be? Sure enough, Jack Mahoney. Legion. Jack, you're getting famous. Even the presidential candidate is worried about you. He is? He thought he could bribe you to stay out of politics, but I know better. Thanks. Maybe I could talk you out of it, Jack. It's not very wise. It'll only hurt you and your church in the end. My church and I are not worried about being hurt. We're worried about being the souls of men. What's that got to do with our security program? The souls of men suffer terribly when they sell their liberty, and that's the price of your security. How do you figure that? What makes a nation prosperous, Legion? It's people, I suppose. The work of the people. Unless the people of a nation are industrious and enterprising, the nation goes to rot, even in material things. Why shouldn't our people be industrious? Why should they be, when the government lifts all the responsibility from their shoulders? The government promises security, and they seek entertainment. It's the bread and circuses that brought on the fall of ancient Rome. What will make the people responsible? They'll work for the government or be punished. You see what I meant when I said they'd sell their liberty? Liberty? Why must they have liberty when they have security? There's no use, priest. Legion is right. Liberty is just a leftover word from the time when people believed in God and needed freedom to save their souls. Small was elected, not once, but again and again. The country went socialist. I had it where I wanted it. Security was God, and God was forgotten. But somehow, complete security never arrived. We're hitting another depression, Legion. There's no doubt about it. No, this time the government has to bear the brunt of it, not the private enterprise. There isn't any private enterprise to speak of. No, we saw to that. What puzzles me is why we're in a slump. Why has production fallen off so in the last 3 years? Perhaps the people aren't working hard enough. We've decided that all the key industries and employees must return to a 48-hour week. But we can't possibly raise their pay with the present slump. You said you'll raise pay, but they won't work an extra day for the same pay. If you'll remember, there is a no-strike law that went into effect last April to protect national security. You mean you'll force them by law to work an extra day? I'd recommend calling an immediate news conference. We'll have to get our side of the story into print right away. And so, gentlemen, the hours will be increased. It is for the good of the country, and we expect your papers to make that clear to the public. Wait till my paper gets this. We'll put up a yell. Totalitarianism is here. Officer, detain the reporter from the broadcast, please. Hey, what's the idea? You can't arrest me without a warrant. Don't get excited. The president would like to ask you some questions. Where's the president? I gotta get to my paper. The president will see you when he has time. There's only one chance. Whoever takes this at once to the office of the broadcast will receive $50 in cash. Out the window. Wow! That afternoon. Did you see this? I thought you said the broadcast wouldn't get the story until it was too late. We'll try something else. Office of the Supervisor of Distribution? Good. Supervisor, the President orders an immediate tightening of newsprint controls. While you're at it, discontinue the broadcast supply. By accident. 2 days later. Well, it worked. The papers are getting cautious. But I just got a report about that priest Mahoney. He's stumping the state. The police are having a hard time with the crowds. Poor Jack has gone too far, I guess. You're sure you won't create suspicion? I've done things like this before. I never thought I'd end up preaching against the government, but someone has to do it. Say, what's wrong with that car? Blam! What's that? You say the famous Father Mahoney was in an accident and his condition is critical? I'll come over at once. He's an old friend. How is he, Doctor? The bishop's in there. Last sacraments. Almost completely paralyzed, but he might live. That's terrible. He's a man of action. He'd go mad looking like that. Doctor, don't you think our recent laws on mercy killing are applicable here? But he didn't request it. He can't request it on account of his religion, but you'll be doing him the greatest favor. Is that an order? Doctor, what are you doing? It's not time for... Shh, Father, it'll be over in a few seconds. You won't feel a thing. They never do. Stop, please, don't. God forgive you. Well, you don't have to worry about Father Mahoney. He died at the hospital this afternoon. Too bad. He meant well, but I've got other things to worry about. There's been a riot upstate. Of course, they couldn't stop the riots. After all, men will fight for what they hold the dearest, and when they throw away God, they will fight for something else. Like security. When Small's program failed. Chink! Lynch him! Kill him! They got guns. Some of the police are even with them. They got your secretary. What do we do? What can we do? They're breaking in downstairs. Here, we played our game and lost. Shoot myself? No, I couldn't. Well, I can. Blam! They're in there! What's up? Suicide. That's right, suicide. Suicide and revolution. Depression and discontent. Hatred and bloodshed. Secularism hits everything in society from the family to the government. No one wins in the end, but I. Legion and his suicide are only symbols. Symbols of modern man, and the suicide is society being brought on by secularism. I have found no greater weapon for my hate. I never shall, unless God is first. All else is chaos. This has been Felix Lebesky for SL Tonight. And this has been If the Devil Spoke. And I hope you enjoyed this comic from 1947. I will leave you with this final page of what American bishops say about secularism. Secularism, or the practical exclusion of God from human thinking and living, is at the root of the world's travail today. Effect on the individual. The greatest moral catastrophe of our age is the growing number of Christians who lack a sense of sin because personal responsibility to God is not a moving force in their lives. In the family, public authority and the press are constantly emphasizing our grave problem of juvenile delinquency. Our profound conviction is that nothing much will ever be done about it unless we go to the root of the evil and learn the havoc that secularism has brought in the family. Education. In no field of social activity has secularism done more harm than in education. In our own country, secularists have been quick to exploit for their own purposes the public policy adopting a century ago of banning the formal teaching of religion from the curriculum of our common schools. The world of work. The Christian faces the plain fact that there is something gravely wrong in our economic life and sees in secularism, with its disregard of God and God's law, a potent factor in creating the moral atmosphere which has favored the growth of this evil. The international community. In the international community, there can be only one real bond of sane, common action, the natural law which calls to God, its author, and derives from him its sanction. The tragic evil is not that our Christian culture is no longer capable of producing peace and reasonable prosperity, but that we are allowing secularism to divorce Christian truth from life. From the Bishop's Statement on Secularism, 1947. 1947. Folks, 1947. You've had this long. They've been telling you. You need to listen. Just saying. There's a connection here. It's a little weird how all of the stuff that they mention inside this comic is the problems that we're seeing today. I don't know. Maybe there's a connection, maybe there's not. I'm just saying, maybe you might want to listen. That's all.
Where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. Behold the adversary, cast down into the pit. The undying worm gnaws at his flesh. The flames that never consume, yet never rest. He who was once the brightest star now rises in eternal torment. His eyes burn with hatred that time cannot cool. His presence defies the very frame that holds him. This is hell! Not a place of fire alone, but of unending regret, unending hunger, unending wrath. Where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched.